It's your friend the Wren back again. I'm not sure who's going to watch this, who this video might reach, but if I can reach one person and have it make sense, then I suppose that's the goal. I'm not hoping for this to be a well received video, and I don't care. So, what am I talking about? You clicked on this video because you're expecting some sort of coherent discourse about what I mean when I say there is only one thing. I might normally start this conversation with, these are my thoughts, but these are not my thoughts. To give you a little bit of a backstory, when I was a child, I spent a lot of time observing things, questioning things. A lot of things have never made sense to me. You can ask basically anybody that knows me today, that has known me, that I'm very different. We're all different, and there's a reason for that. Maybe I'll touch on that. But I was different in such a way that I didn't fit in well with others, and I still don't. Others. So when I was a child, I remember often staring at this wooden rocking chair. The grain, the shape, how it moved, and just sitting there staring at it and saying, what is this thing? It's a chair, but it's rocking. And I just kept staring at it and staring. This went on for like a long time, daily, for a long time. What is this thing? Yes, I'm aware that it's a chair. I'm aware it's made out of wood. I'm aware that somebody made it with their hands. I knew the chair intimately through my five senses. I mean, I don't have any memories of tasting it, but I was a child, so I could have. I remember my mom sitting in the chair, all sorts of things. The chair, right? And as I got older, I would often stare at my left hand. This thing. What is this thing? You know, the fingerprints, the details, the color of the nails, all sorts of things. Staring at the patterns of the lines for hours and hours, just staring. What is this thing? You know, what is my body? What is that chair? And as I got older, I did the same thing with my thoughts. What are these things? Why do I have memories? What happens with my thoughts when I'm dreaming? Over and over and over. What are these things? Observing these things, questioning these things. So for me, I've always had this body-mind complex issue was never really a thing for me. I didn't really identify with my body because I could think about it, I could observe it, and the same thing with my thoughts. And the same thing, again, with the chair. I knew I was not the chair, and I knew I was not my body, and I knew I was not my thoughts, and the things that I would remember, I knew they weren't happening. I was remembering them. I knew all these things in great detail since I was probably a young teenager around the age of 13 or 14. And that's kind of around the same time that my pagan training started at the hands of my grandmother before I studied to be a druid for over 25 years. But that aside, this questioning, this observing, what is this? And never having, a satisfied answer through, school or college, I still continued to be an observer. Now, in the Hindu traditions, I guess it's not something I'm extremely familiar with, but it's often, they are seekers. They seek. They are in pursuit of many of them. I don't know about all of them. Perhaps maybe some of the yogi traditions they're not. But where does this fall into everything is one thing? I was watching a comedy special, and the comedian Pete Holmes was doing this joke that resonated so deeply. And it was about how I'm made of molecules, the stool is made of molecules, everything in the air is made of molecules. We're all made of molecules. Now, I'll get most of this joke wrong, but I encourage you to watch Pete Holmes' joke on what is this? So if I'm made of molecules, then how can the molecules in me be aware that they are me? As Pete would be like, yeah, these molecules, they're named Pete. Yeah, okay. How do the molecules in your body and then the molecules that's in the stool, well, I'm standing here talking to you, some of the molecules of my body went into the stool and some of the molecules in the stool came into me. Are we starting to see a bigger picture here about how everything is one thing? Everything is consciousness. Everything is energy. Everything is information. If you've looked into the telepathy tapes, you'll know that consciousness is so much bigger than we can imagine. If we study things like, quantum physics and quantum mechanics, we'll know that when we break down an atom to its smallest parts possible, to particles, we have bits. Things are basically digital. The simulation that we're living in is a simulation that you are creating based on your beliefs, your thoughts, based on your feelings, what you're projecting outwards. Like attracts like, it's sympathetic resonance. So what you're putting out there is coming back to you based on the character that you've chosen to play. But there's no character. As R.J. Spina would talk about, the EMI, the ego mind identity, these are all programs that you're running. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, the concepts, roles, titles, ranks. Everything is one thing, and that is energy, and that is consciousness, and it's information. Now, you guys don't know what I do for a living, but one of the things that I do is I take care of a boy. He's 13 years old. He's nonverbal. He's autistic. And he is a quadriplegic. Well, paraplegic. And when his tablet is not stuck in his face, because he loves to be distracted, when that's not there, he can clearly hear my thoughts. He can clearly do things that should not seem possible by modern science. Notice I didn't say quantum physics. Now, the special that's found on YouTube called The Telepathy Tapes, I highly encourage you watch that, because that's the world that I live in when I take care of this boy. he can understand various languages, even though he cannot talk. He can do things that I would rather keep private, but there's no doubt in my mind that the abilities that these children, these nonverbal autistic children that are handicapped have, they're the ones teaching us. Not most of these mentors, tutors, guides, um, gurus that you can find online. Now, I'm not bashing anyone particularly, but there's a bunch out there that are rubbish, that are pretending to know something that they don't. I can say, if you're looking for content creators that actually know what the hell they're talking about, RJ Spina, Pete Sapper, and the channel called Living as Source. Each one of them has their own unique way of putting things, but they're all saying the same thing. And I'm saying the same thing. There's one thing here, and that is Source. The I am. You are an infinite fractal of the Source, or God, or the universe, or whatever you want to label it as. It's just a label. It's just a concept. You know, you have the ability to do anything that you want. Different people are going to give you different ways to do these things. Some teachers, I don't like the word teachers, but for lack of a better word, some teachers are going to teach you things that work for them and work for a lot of people, but they might not work for you. And that's fine. You might just have to find the right person, the right energy exchange, because it's not about information. It's not about learning. It's not about understanding. It's not about logic or reason. But there's an energy exchange. And when you click with somebody, the ability for you to take on their lesson is like instant knowing. You know. There's no questions. You agree with everything that comes out of their mouth because they are actually saying the words inside of you. Because there's only one thing. You've basically created them at that moment in time for them to deliver that message for you. And you're doing the same thing for others, whether you realize it or not. But I dropped my lighter. So this one thing, if you're triggered by the word God, then that's kind of an on you thing. And you have to ask yourself where that's coming from, because that's a program you're running. It's just a word that defines something. So if you're triggered by God, that's on you. If you're comfortable with Source or Universe or the Force, some sort of Jedi thing, use whatever words you want. There's no denying the fact that consciousness is the next part of our evolution, and we're going to be struggling with some sort of battle, sides being chosen between consciousness and AI at some point. It's inevitable. But since the world online seems to be hyper-focused on manifestation, and I don't know why. I mean, I understand why a lot of people are caught up in this, because people have an identification, you know, and they want, and because they're lacking. But you're never actually lacking if all things are one thing. You know, every religion, every spirituality has talked about these things in some way. You know, the lost books of the Bible with um, secret teachings from Yeshua, um, all the way to ancient India and everything in between. The messages have always been repeating time after time, generation after generation. And for us, we have quantum, which is now merging with metaphysics. So, who are you really? Your energy, you're vibrating. You are awareness. Like, I was aware of the chair. I'm aware of my body. I'm aware of my thoughts. But because I am aware of them means that I can't be them. Just because I'm aware of it doesn't mean I identify with that. So if you're not your mind, you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, you are the observer of these things, and the same with your body, and the same with your environment. Do you ever notice that when you're having one bad thing happens to you in the morning, there we go with the words bad, people, they label things. Oh, everything's right or wrong, good or bad. No. But something bad happens to you in the morning, and then for the rest of the day, it's one thing after another until it's time to go to bed. You identified with it. You took that as a part of you. You identified with it. It became a part of you, and then like sympathetic resonance, that's what's coming back all day long. The traffic jam, or can't find anything good on the radio, or something horrible happens to you at work. Maybe you lose your job. Maybe you get a speeding ticket. And you're like, what a shitty day. You have the free will of choice. I think it's like Sadhguru says that, there's a lot of inner engineering that a lot of people seem to be lacking. You didn't read the user's manual for this thing. It's a very complex machine. Yes, we are not our minds, we are not our bodies, but you should be able to know how to optimize them, use them. People have this, man, I want to manifest the mansion. I want to manifest this car. I want to manifest the love of my life. Do you hear about people wanting to manifest health? Everything is, outside of them. Their religion, their God, outside of them. Heaven, outside of them. Everything is within you. You're the infinite fractal of God. You are the source. Is anybody experiencing your reality but you right now? In this moment, which is all moments, it's always right now. The future is not happening to you. The past is not happening to you. So in this moment right now, is anybody experiencing your reality but you? Think about that. Like a baby that's just born. What is it? It's not aware of its gender. It's not aware who is mom and who is dad. It's not aware that it's going to be brought up Catholic or Protestant or Hindu or Mormon or whatever. It's not aware of its nationality or its heritage, where its DNA is from. It's just aware. That's all you are, is awareness. And the source is experiencing its creation through each one of us, through every blade of grass, through every leaf on the tree, through every tear, every smile, every authentic thing from you that you put out into the world, and even the inauthentic things too. It is awareness. It is consciousness. Know thyself. I didn't take any notes. I didn't write anything down. I'm not working from a script. This is just pure organic flow coming from me. Because someone out there needs to hear this, be this, do this, become this, but you don't really actually do or become these things. You have an awareness, you connect, and that's the end of it. You realize you're not lacking anything, ever. It's sort of like the prodigal son. Biblically, I would say it's something along the lines, and I'll probably get this wrong because I was never sold on Christianity in the God sense. Jesus as an ascended master, sure. A wise dude, a philosopher, a magician, somebody that, did good works and sure, yeah, became divine through his work. Sure, why not? It's very Buddha-like, Krishna-like, Christ consciousness. I forgot what I was saying. I apologize. Oh, biblically. So, in the prodigal son, the line is something is like, I am always with you, and everything that I have is yours. We're not talking about Yahweh. We're talking about the source. We're talking about God with a capital G. We're talking about the Creator. Whatever it is, which is consciousness, the programmer, the designer, the architect of everything. It's always with you because it is you. It's every atom of your body, every atom of this chair, of my guitar, of my books, of the air. You're saturated. You're swimming in it. You're an infinite fractal of the creation. There's only one thing here. There's only one being here. When you become aware that you are source, life changes. Reality changes. There's some sort of saying about once a mind is stretched over a new idea or thought or something like that it cannot return to its original form. That's what this awareness is. It's a knowing. It's not a belief. It's like you don't believe in God. You don't believe in the source. You know it. A lot of people might need some sort of push through the door. They might need some sort of experience like 5-MeO DMT or other regular DMT, high doses of mushrooms like 8 to 10 grams, something. You need some sort of experience. Without experience, you have knowledge, but not knowing. And that's very different. You have an experience, and then all of a sudden your experience is just like that person's and this person's and that person's. and they have a knowing and their life has changed, that's why they, in quotes, don't want unification. They don't want collective consciousness. I mean, the CIA wouldn't have spent millions of dollars on several projects throughout the years if these things were not real. Like out of body, remote viewing, things with consciousness. If it's about separation or division, dividing that way, then that's not God. If it's about violence, killing, war, that's also not God. It's a knowing. When many of these nonverbal autistic children kind of click out and then tap in, they're able to access the information that exists. You know, I'm talking information they would have no knowledge of. So-called knowledge. Like young children knowing like pi over 200 digits long. And when they communicate with us about how they knew, they said they just read it. It was just right in front of them. Able to communicate with friends overseas, kids in the same room, being close to parents and being able to see through their mother's eyes when they're not even in the same room. Go watch that special. She was also just on the leading scientist. She's a neuroscientist. She's a neuroscientist. She was just on the Sean Ryan show. So I don't remember her name. I apologize. It's late. I can only make videos here when it's late or it's too loud. Plus, I enjoy the nighttime. But check out the Sean Ryan show. She's one of the latest guests on that show. And I believe it's like a 3 or 4 hour special, but worth it. But all the studies in consciousness, all the studies in metaphysics, all the studies in quantum this and that, and in spirituality, and in ancient religions, they're not going to be fulfilling. You can be grateful for obtaining the knowledge, but that's mental masturbation. Unless you've experienced something, you don't know. Oh, that cup is dirty. Knowing is something like no one can take it away from you. It doesn't need to be weighed or psychoanalyzed, picked apart. It doesn't need proof. Science is always looking to measure things. How can we do an experiment? How can we gather proof? That's not how metaphysics works. But if you can be the tuning fork for what you want to receive, it's like turning a radio dial. You've got to be on that right station. If you're a couple numbers below or a couple of numbers above it, you're not going to get clear signal. You're not going to hear the music you want to hear. The life that you want to live exists right now because everything has been created. Creation is finished. You're just not there because of the choices that you make. You have free will to say the words that you want to say, the free will of your actions to do what you need to do, and to know within yourself, because that's all that exists. Remember what I said? Is anybody experiencing the reality that you're living in right now? Is anybody else living your life? Then why don't you wake up and change it? Like I said in a past video, if you put your shirt on and it's backwards, you don't leave it like that for the day, do you? No, you change it. Wake up and change your life. It starts with going within. Some people would say it starts with gratitude. Gratitude is lovely, but if you feel fulfilled, then you are grateful. So if you're fulfilled, then you're grateful. The feeling is always fulfilled. Remember, I am always with you, and everything that I have is yours. Everything. Why are you not getting it? Getting it and getting it. Because you think it's outside of you. This chair, these books, this guitar, everything that I own, because you don't own anything. You didn't come here with it. You're not bringing it with you. It's just stuff. Same thing could be applied to a vehicle or a job or a spouse that you don't have that you want this person in your life. Comes from you. It is just you. I only exist in this moment of this right now to deliver this message for you. So you can have the catalyst. You have to hear me say it for you. There's nothing that you can't do when you become aware, when you have a knowing. If you don't think that's possible, I manifested $4,000 the other day. I manifested a new job. I manifested it. I don't even like the word. I don't like the thought or the idea or the concept of manifesting. Because that's technically how it doesn't even work that way. It's not some sort of like ancient magic and no. It's the awareness. It's the knowing. And just the being of yourself. Your authentic self. I don't have much more to say. So I'll leave you with that. But the last thought. The last message that I'm transmitting to you, besides the positive that you can do anything you want, is anybody experiencing your reality right now? The future is imagination. The past is a memory. For some people, that's anxiety and depression. In this moment, in the stillness of your mind or your heart, you know that you're a character. You chose to be here. Change your character. Change it by going through and deleting all those programs that don't serve you. Like, I am not my thoughts. I am not my body. I am not my memories. The I am is all that is and all you are. We're sharing everything. So be excellent to each other. Don't muck it up. Stay fresh, cheese bags.